Welcome to the Krista Escamilla Show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Krista Escamilla Show. As always, we thank you for your time because we know it's precious, and thanks for choosing us, and hope your summer is going great. We want to, first of all, thank our sponsors. We want to thank Rig ID Workwear. We want to thank Midland Cap Company. Let's see, Tapestry Hotel Midland and joincapclub.com. Please support those local businesses any way that you see fit. And I just want to thank those of you who have subscribed and liked and shared our show, because that means it's reaching one more person and it could help them in their journey. And that's what we're all about here at the Krista Escamilla Show, is helping you dream big, believe in yourself, never give up, and live your best life in wherever your journey takes you. So thank you for that. We are so excited about today's guest, because this talk about journeys, I cannot wait to hear more about hers, because it is such an exciting one. Joining us today is Chelsea Crossland, and Chelsea is the owner of a brand new venue called Blumenthal Farms. But many of you know her here from West Texas, from oil and gas through the years, and you probably grew up with her. So thanks so much for being with us today, Chelsea.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to sit and visit again. We visited at previous times in media through oil and gas.
Yes.
And now we get to just kind of start your journey from the beginning, because I think that's an important part of your journey, from where you got to where you are today. So are you born and raised here in West Texas?
Born in Andrews. Moved here about 7.
Okay.
So I just say I'm from Midland. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Been here long enough.
Long time.
So yeah, I've been here, moved away a few times, always moved back. And so yeah, I've spent most of my life.
And you worked the oil fields of West Texas?
Yes, the furniture store, and then went into
Which
oil.
was great, by the way. Your furniture store was amazing.
Well, and then I swore I would never be in oil, and then I was, and it was awesome, and it was great to me when I was in it, and it was up till recently that I got out of it. So, yeah, I had to. I didn't want to, but I can't come back and forth anymore.
What was it that made you make this big move? So now you have moved to Fredericksburg, and you have opened a venue that is amazing. I mean, I've just seen it. I haven't seen it in person yet. I look forward to, but I saw it online, and I thought, and I remember us talking about it years ago when it was just an idea.
Yeah.
And now you've made it come to fruition, and it's happening. So
Yes.
tell us a little bit about what it is.
Well, I decided that I wanted to get out of Midland. I needed a new chapter. This was closing. I needed something different. And my dad was like, well, move down this way. They're in Bernie. And I wanted to go that way, but Bernie just wasn't it for me. And we found this land in Fredericksburg and kind of asked the realtor, look, what would y'all do with it? I mean, there's old buildings here. I mean, what is
Right.
it?
What can you do?
It was
Right.
on the river, so it was beautiful.
I bet it
but
is.
we didn't know what we would do. And me coming out of oil or furniture, I was like, what am I going to do? Put a gift shop out here, you know?
Right.
In the middle of Wine Row. And they said we were going to do a sandwich shop and a winery and this and that. And I was like, well, I could do that, you know?
Right.
So we looked into it. We loved it. We bought it. And I started to get to know the lady that owned it before them. And she had lived there and raised her kids on it and everything, and gave me the history. And the history of the land is amazing.
Aww.
And so I started to piece little things together and found out that the general store used to be a up and running old general store. And so I said, well, let's turn that back into a general store.
Yeah.
And then that little house, I was like, I want something different. So I said, well, what if we did cigars, you know? So we're doing cigars there. And then,
that's awesome.
you know, instead of just wine, what if we do beer, wine, and cocktails? So we went that route. And I found out it was an old cotton farming community, so our big building looks like a cotton gin.
It really does.
Yeah. And so, because a cotton gin used to be there. Okay. So we just built it up to look like a cotton gin, and we're just trying to recreate the old town. Because the old steam engine is still there that used to produce electricity for the town, and just it's on the river, and so it just has so many different aspects. And I always said, instead, you know, everybody has their own wine there, so I have to sell an experience instead of my own wine. So I had to figure out ways for people to want to come and enjoy that piece of land. And then last minute, before we're about to open, I decide pickleball courts. So
I love it.
are adding pickleball courts. And so those should eventually be in. And hopefully if that goes well, we'll add more. So
I love it. You know what? The last minute additions are always the best,
Yeah.
right? If you look back in your life, like those last minute, decisions always are like, oh, that was one of the best things we ever decided to do. I love it. And I love how you kept the history of the town and really kind of transformed it into modern day, but yet honoring the history.
Because I want to completely stay with the history of the town, and I want for everybody to know the history of the town, but have like a new flair. So, enjoying the nostalgia of it, but kind of making new memories.
I love it.
And the lady that lived there, she comes by with her kids and stuff, and they're just in awe because I've turned their house into a cigar bar, but it's still really cool. Everything has the natural, like the original floorings, the general store had this wood over it from a Mississippi hotel.
Oh, wow.
And we were going to repair that because we thought that was the original flooring. And when we pulled it up, we found the original flooring. So
oh my goodness,
it's just so neat.
What has been the most surprising part of really, because you're just kind of starting this journey, right? What has been the most surprising part of opening this business compared to maybe, your past in oil and gas or the furniture store? Any surprises?
Construction was a big surprise, going in and transforming these old buildings. You don't know what's in there. You don't know what you have. So transforming those, but it's just so cool to have the pictures from early 1900s to now and just seeing the difference. And I think just how supportive everybody's been there.
Right.
And just my neighbors and people on Wine Row have just been so supportive and helpful and sending people my way that I might need, and I think that how welcoming everybody makes you feel like this was the right decision and you're doing the right thing kind of thing. I love that. So,
well, because I think that's just, when the right people come together at the right time and they come your way, that's just kind of more confirmation that you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
I felt that God led me to that piece of land and led me there, and just how even everything in the end has just kind of fallen in place. I've had to really be like, you brought me here, so I have to just see it forth, There's little things that come up and I'm like, it's going to work out. Everything's going to work out, and it has. So just like my bathroom stall's not coming in, But
that's okay.
But it is okay, and they're here, and we're going to open on Thursday, and we're gonna go roll with the punches,
Oh, that's wonderful. Where is it located in Fredericksburg? And you mentioned that it's its own town, where you're at. So you get to be the mayor of the town. You own the town. How cool is that?
Mayor, sheriff.
I love it. Yeah, everything. Yeah, CEO. You take care of housekeeping as well. You do it all.
Everything. So we're about 9 miles out of Fredericksburg, right before Stonewall. So if you're headed towards Stonewall, we're right there, kind of by the trade days on 290. And so, it's an old town, and it was established around 1870. That's the first building that was built, and it was a little saloon, and the people lived upstairs. And then for their parents' anniversary, they built a dance hall, but they said later on they couldn't compete with Lukenbach, so they turned it into a general store. But they said you never knew if you'd get stale chips, or if you went for a gallon of gas, you never knew if you got the gallon. So it's just a lot of fun stories. And I have the picture of the brothers celebrating their first big cotton harvest. Aww. And so it's really cool. They're standing in front of the general store with beers in their hand, and it's so neat. And so they tore down the cotton gym, and that's why we rebuilt it to look like that.
How did you come up with the name?
It's the old town of Blumenthal.
Okay, so you just wanted to honor the old town name and then put farms.
Yes, and then we still have the town sign. So when you're riding in, you can see it says Blumenthal.
I cannot wait to see it.
Yeah.
That is incredible. Was there any time in the journey that you just went, oh gosh, am I doing the right thing?
There was some contractors that weren't great. And so I was like, maybe this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing, and maybe I just jumped the gun on this idea. I don't know. And then I met this man, and he completely turned that around, and he finished my project for me.
Oh, wow.
And I had 2 different contractors, one for the big building and one for the smaller buildings. And when he came in, if you can call him and he'll say, oh, I know a person. I know a person.
Yeah.
And they were there the next day.
Wow.
And things just kept rolling, and I was like,
those are good people to know.
Yes. And I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where I'm supposed to be. So I think I always say that's like the devil coming in, that spiritual warfare coming in, trying to stop you from what you're supposed to do. But I stuck to the plan, and we're here, and we're going to open. So hopefully it works out.
I love it. Well, I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.
And you're right. You know, there's always, I always say there's, you know, when you have a dream and you're going for it, there's always going to be a little resistance, right? And then when you work through the resistance and you have that aha moment, you're like, okay, this is normal. This happens.
Yeah.
You know, the devil may have come in, but he didn't win.
Yeah,
know?
well, nothing that's worth it is easy, you know. So
Exactly.
it's been a long 2 years, but I think that it's all happening when it's supposed to. I mean, I would rather open when it was a slower month or slower season.
That's
but
okay.
We're gonna just jump into summer and get going.
I love it. I think there's nothing better than just jumping
Yeah.
in when, you know, when people are there, when people are traveling. And so it's going to be great. And there's going to be things that pop up, and you're going to have to work out the kinks and pivot. And that's part of business, as you know. This is not your first rodeo.
Yeah.
This is not your first
Yeah, I mean, that's my whole life, jumping in when it's going fast and furious, you know?
I love it. I love it. Well, I do something called Quote of the Day. And so what were you going to do, Chelsea, is you're going to pick out a quote here. I'm just going to mix them up a little bit. Pick out a quote randomly, read it, and tell me what it means to you.
Okay.
Which card did you get?
Caring.
Oh, I love that for you. So true. All right, what does the quote say?
Okay, too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears. And I literally just talked to somebody about that
You're
the other
kidding.
day.
It's so cool how this always works out. How does that, and that's from Les Brown. Love Les Brown.
I love her.
What does that mean to you?
So I think that fear stops a lot of us. And I think fear stops a lot of us from living life. But I think once you push through that fear and you see that things do work out, whether that's your plan or it's not your plan, but you know, you get to the other side of that, you see that it's not as bad as you thought.
Absolutely.
I think overthinking is the worst thing, which I do all the time.
Yes.
But
you're not alone.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're not fearful of things, then I don't think that that's what you should be doing. I think there should be fear in something that you really want to do.
I agree. And like when you get those butterflies in your tummy, you're like, okay, what is that? You know, use that for good. You go, okay, that's there because I care.
Yeah.
You know, it's not necessarily a sign I shouldn't be doing this. It's just like, okay, now listen to your gut. Don't get me wrong there. Always listen to your gut. But when, you know, sometimes you're a little nervous walking into a business meeting or walking in or opening the doors, right? Opening day. I remember when we opened our doors, will people come? You know, it's like,
it's like having a party.
We have customers? Right, exactly.
Like you always are like, are people coming? You know, you're always scared of that. And then you have the best party.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And even if you don't, you know, you still had fun and you learn. I think you always learn from your mistakes and your fears. And you miss that opportunity of having that learning, that lesson, if you don't go through and pull through with it, you know, and get to the other side. You just miss all those lessons that you could be learning.
Absolutely. Do you have a favorite quote that you live by?
I don't know. I think that, I don't know. I just kind of live for who you are and go after what you want and don't let anybody stop you. And there's always going to be people there in your way telling you it's not a good idea. But if you know that God's positioned you and put you there, then you have to stand by that and constantly listen to him and go to him.
Right.
And I'm all about just going with God's plan and not faltering, you know, and letting that devil come along and kind of make you veer the other way.
Absolutely. Do you feel like all your previous business experience, have those experiences come into play and helped you with where you are now and in your journey?
Yes. So I could never realize why God put me in the position to own an event rental company. Like I couldn't figure that out for the longest time. But that put me in the position to work with American Cancer Society.
Yes.
And when I was doing that, I did that. I do it now in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. But when I started in Midland, I started doing the events. And
you did Roundup, is that
yes.
correct? Okay.
So I started decorating.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then that led me to like golf tournaments. And then it led me into Face of Fox and all that good stuff. And so that made me realize how much I love planning events and wanting to throw concerts and stuff like that. And then now that I have Blumenthal, I have an amphitheater, so we'll be throwing concerts.
Awesome.
And every Saturday we're throwing like a social Saturday brunch. And so I think that all just led me here. And that was my aha moment, you know?
I love that.
Like, that's why I did all that.
Right, because I believe that 100%. Mm-hmm. Like every experience that you've had before leads you to where we always say you can't connect the dots looking forward, only looking back. And I'm not saying that for the first time. Yeah. It was Steve Jobs, I think, that said it. Yeah. But, that is so true because, when you look back, you go, oh, I met this person, then that person, that led me to this. Oh, and remember when that one person told me I should maybe try this? And I did. And look what it led to. When you look back, you can go, wow, that was so cool how God laid out that plan for me that I didn't even know at the time.
Yeah.
Right?
And I mean, even with oil, just meeting everybody and being that opportunity to be social,
Yes.
and I need that now. And then my builder that built the big building, he's American Cancer Society in San Antonio, and then he connected me with them. And so I've met a lot of people there, and so it's just all kind of come full circle, and that's how I know that's where I'm supposed to be,
Well, I'm so excited for you, and I'm
you.
so proud of you, and I'm so happy for you, like all the emotions, because I think I love seeing people live out their dreams. Like, to me, that is the one thing I want for each and every one of us. I want everyone to live their dream and to go for it, and even the big scary ones. That's why we say dream big, because you just never, to me, the bigger you dream, the bigger that your life happiness is going to be, because that's what you're supposed to be doing. And so with that, I want to know, what is your biggest dream with Blumenthal Farms? Like, when you look down, say 10 years from now, what do you hope that it is?
I just think I want it to be just such a fun place that people can come, but I also want that comfortable, like you're sitting in your backyard, you're sitting by the river and having a drink. We have the old blankets that you can sit out on the grass and do picnics. I just want it to be a place that people feel like at home.
I love that.
And comfortable, and we know their faces and they keep coming back, and they just feel like, they're regulars, even if it's their first time.
Right.
And I just want everybody, because you know how nice it is when you walk into a restaurant and they're like, hey,
and they remember your name.
Like at Cancun here, they always know you. And so I just love that feeling. And so that's what I want, just a fun environment where everybody's just feels cozy and comfortable.
Right. If you're a child of the 80s like me and you're hearing the song from Cheers, sometimes I want to go where everybody knows your name. That's what I thought of when you said that. But that's what you want. You want someone to, you want that feels like home feeling. And call me crazy, but I just had this vision for you. I think it'd be cool to either have a podcast out there or a reality show. Like, you could do so much with it.
Well, I want it to be a one-stop shop,
Yeah, like I could see people coming out there, and I don't know. That's just my wheels turning with media. I'm like, you could do so many cool things with it, media as well.
I'm trying to get on the TikTok train, but
it's
not
hard,
smart.
I'm just too old.
I know. I'm trying to get these young college girls. I'm like, what do y'all do? Because I do not know what's going on.
Well, it is. It's like, how do you know what's going to be good on TikTok? The young people know that, and they know. So that's smart, reaching out to the young college.
We have a lot of bachelorette parties and women's groups. So if it's, enticing to them.
Right.
They'll come.
I love that. Yeah.
I'm just going to get one of those influencers to go and film.
There you go. Have them come out, because I think from what I've seen, and I cannot wait to come by. Actually, Al and I were just talking about, we're like, we need to go to Fredericksburg.
Yeah.
We have not been in years, like years and years and years. We passed through one time a long time ago, with 4 kids, and you're running around with them. Yeah. that you just don't get to go do stuff, just the two of you. So anyway, we were thinking of that. We're
Yeah.
like, we need to go do that.
And I was telling him, it's just every weekend you can do something new. There's just so much now out there that it's crazy, and we're growing. I mean, we're probably the size of an Andrews, but we get 10 to 15,000 tourists a weekend.
Wow.
And
That's a lot if you
and it
think about
doesn't
it.
slow down.
Yeah.
It used to slow down in like the winter, or you would see people start rolling in Wednesday, Thursday. It's all week now.
All week.
Yeah.
Really? So,
So-
what will your hours be?
We're 11 to 6 Wednesday through Sunday.
Okay.
I think that it's important to have your staff have some days off.
Mm-hmm.
And I always think, you could add hours. It's hard to take away.
That's
you know?
true. That is
So-
very true.
and
So it's 11 to 6. And then you're going to do private events as well?
I'm not so sure of weddings and whatnot, but I will do like family days and stuff like that for the community.
Fun.
And we're on the river, so we'll do a big thing for the River Lions
I
and
love that.
protecting the river, and
Very
because
cool.
we're real big on that too. So
How cool. You are living the dream, Chelsea. That you are living on the river, doing big things. I'm so excited for you. Okay, this is called Question of the Day. So you just pick out a random one.
Okay.
We're going to see. I'm sitting here today in Midland, Texas with Chelsea Crossland. She is the owner of Blumenthal Farms. Many of you, though, however, know her from here in West Texas. And so we're so excited. What does your question say? Which card did you get? The Learn card. Love
do you
it.
believe in giving people second chances, and why?
Good question.
It really depends, but I do believe I'm not who I was when I was 20. And I'm not even
me neither, thank God.
And mentally and the way I view things, I'm not even the same as I was 4 years ago. So I think that if somebody comes in and is true and genuine in their apology or how they acted, I think that, you can, because I do think people can change. They have to change for themselves.
Right,
But I do
right.
think they can, and they can grow and learn through their mistakes.
Yeah, I like what you said, because you can't make someone else change, but when someone makes a change for themselves, it's
Yeah.
obvious, and you know that then it's genuine.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you go through hardships, and you're somebody you're different in your hard times, and you're different in your happy times.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you encounter the people in your hard times, and that's not you.
Right.
And so, I do believe in giving people second chances.
I love that. What has been the biggest struggle or hardest thing that you have learned through as a businesswoman, that you really learned a lesson and went, aha, note taken, not going to do that again, or note taken, that's not how I want to be in business, or
Yeah.
we all have those instances.
I think, like we were talking about earlier, about you can't please everybody, and not everyone's gonna like me, and that's hard for me.
Are you a fellow people pleaser?
Yes.
I know a fellow people pleaser when I see one. I understand.
Yeah, and I want everybody to love it, and I want everybody to love it like I do, but that's just not reality. And I think coming to, I'm not gonna say that I'm perfect at that, because I'm still gonna, be like, please like it. But,
Right.
But I do realize that is something that's real,
Right.
and
it might not be everybody's cup of tea. You can't be everybody's cup of tea,
Yeah.
right? But
as much as
as much as you want to be, right?
and as long as more people like me than don't, I'll be okay.
Well, I don't think you're going to have any trouble with that at all. I mean, it looks like you have remembered every little detail. Just, like I said, I haven't been there, but by looking at the pictures, I'm like, this is incredible. And it just looks like someplace you want to spend time at.
Yeah, and details are so important to me, and it's funny because people are like, they won't notice that, but I said, but the one time they do, they'll never forget it. So it's like those little details that you put in, and we just have like old wells with the date on them for like 1922 and stuff, and you can barely see it, but when that person sees it, they'll remember it, you know. And we have the old brick that you can't ever find again, leading up, paved up into our entrance, and it's just from the old town, and those are just like little things like that,
Yeah, you've really paid attention to the details because they mean something to you and to the history.
Well, it
it
goes full circle to the whole story of Blumenthal.
I love that.
What
advice would you give to someone that is maybe, thinking and they could be anywhere in their journey. They have an idea, they haven't started yet, or they've started it, they're midway through, or they're where you are, about to open the doors. What advice would you give to someone in business?
Man, I think just stay strong in what you believe in, because in your idea, because you will have those people, like I said earlier, that come along and they're like, are you sure? Do you want to do that? And you start second guessing yourself.
It's true.
But you have to stay strong to what you believe in and who you are and what your plan is and what your dream is, and go with it,
Absolutely.
and just really work towards that.
Yes.
Even if it takes 2 years, like it takes a long time sometimes.
And I think I'm glad you pointed that out, because it always takes longer than you think it's going to, right? I mean, anyone that has opened a business or whether it's your education or whatever it is, building a house, like these things sometimes take longer than what you anticipate, but that's okay. That's just, it's going to get done when it's supposed to get done.
Well, and I think a little bit of me, like I said earlier, I was just starting to veer off my path because I was like, it's taking too long. What if this is what God wanted for me? And you get in your head, and then he starts showing up and seeing, and you see this, and you're like, okay, that was just, the devil trying to get me. But I did at some points. I think that's natural, that you're going to have that fear, like, man, that didn't work out, but it's always because that's not what he wanted for you. It's something else. He's bringing in something better,
right?
So you think you want this, and this is what you're supposed to have, and he wants so much more for you.
Right.
And I think that's where you could be led astray or get off your path,
right?
If you don't like stick to it.
Chelsea, you are so smart for your young
Thank
age.
you.
You have learned a lot. Who has been a big mentor for you in your life?
My parents have, and I think being involved in my church and whatnot, and really trying to focus on learning who I am. And I think that's a big thing, just learning who you are and loving yourself, and all that comes to play,
Absolutely. So. Well, we're going to play a little game we call Favorite Things.
Okay.
And we're going to do a West Texas / Fredericksburg version, because I want to hear, because we haven't spent much time there.
Okay.
I want to hear some of your favorites here and there.
Okay.
So first we'll start with favorite restaurant.
Here?
Yes.
Oh man, I love Cork and Pig, but I love Cancun too.
Two good ones.
Yeah.
Two good ones.
And in Fredericksburg,
I know that's the second Cancun or the second podcast that Cancun Grill was the favorite restaurant in a row.
It's just their staff too. They make you feel so good in there. They
Yes.
remember your face.
Yes.
And they're so kind. So
Yes.
But in
Hi, girls. Our girls just walked in. So in Fredericksburg, do you have a favorite restaurant?
I love Auguste's.
Okay.
But I'm just like an appetizer girl there. Like I load up on their appetizers. But
that's all you need.
Oh my gosh, sir, it's awesome. And then Leroy's, their barbecue place right down the street, and I'm there about 4 times a week. And he even did my opening party, the tacos that I love.
Oh, fun.
And so they know when I walk in, you want the tacos?
Nice.
I'm like, yes.
Yes, I do.
Brisket tacos, give them to me.
Again, there's nothing better than someone knowing what you want
Yes,
when you're walking.
yes.
Favorite, let's go with coffee or tea shop. Here and then there.
So I do my own.
Yes.
I go to Natural Grocers and I get the cold brew and put some protein in it. So I don't really go anywhere for that, but I do love tea to go for tea. And I'm sad that we have something that opened up, but I haven't explored it in Fredericksburg.
Okay.
But every time I come here, I have to get like 2 or 3, even if I'm here for the day.
Yes.
I'm like, I got to get it in, that fix.
Absolutely. That one, I love the Wonder Woman. The Wonder Woman energy drink there is really good. Oh, anything called Wonder Woman, you've got to get, right? It's going to make you feel like this for the day.
Yes, I love them.
Okay, let's say favorite wine place to have wine here, and then favorite winery there.
So, here.
Of course, you can plug your own too.
Yeah. So I don't know here. I think, I love like the downtown area. If I want to,
isn't it cool?
Like Pie and Cancun and Wall Street. They're all kind of cool. The basement.
I love Wall Street. Let's give Wall Street a shout out. So my husband and I have been eating there like every Wednesday. They have the best tortilla soup.
Oh yeah.
And then that bread and that salad. We could go on and on.
Yeah.
And of course the cocktails are good too. But
yeah.
let's talk about that bread for a second.
Yeah,
it's
for
so
real.
good. But I love that you shouted out downtown, because the downtown today is so different than the downtown that you grew up in.
Oh my!
Right?
And it's just growing, and I love it. I love the concerts that they have downtown, and just kind of making it about the community there.
I agree.
think that's so fun because we needed that.
Absolutely, we did.
Yeah.
And it really has changed the vibe
Yes.
of downtown. I love it. There's an energy there that has not been there in years. So
Yeah.
it's really cool. And I love seeing families there on the weekends.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Okay, how about in Fredericksburg?
So I love Edge. They kind of are like me in a sense. They're on the river. They have a bigger venue, and it's a really cool place to go.
Okay.
It's just a cool vibe, and they have great music on Saturdays. So I like that. Slate Theory, they're Midland people, and
Okay.
it's really nice. They have a cool little underground cave
Ooh,
that you
that's
can
fun.
go to. It's really neat.
And what was that one again?
Slate Theory.
Slate Theory. Okay.
Yeah, and then the Fat Ass Winery is just fun. They have a DJ, and so it's just like fun.
So you just walk in, there's music playing, pumping.
It's just like so fun. So you get a different vibe at every single one. And I think that's what's cool. That's why
do
it's
too.
cool to go on the tour. But, if you don't like wine, it kind of gets a little boring. And that's where I did my research. I had people come in and we would do the tours. And me and my dad went on field trips, research trips.
That's a fun field trip to do. Those are the kinds you don't mind doing.
Yeah. And we were just would watch everybody and
I love
see
it.
how they were, and kind of. But, Augusta Ven is so beautiful too. So they have the best rosé. So there's just different wines, different places.
Fantastic. And then at your place at Blumenthal Farms, you will have a mix of all of them because
Yes.
you don't have your own wine.
No, so
Correct.
I have a liquor license, so we'll have beer, wine, and specialty cocktails. We don't like craft cocktails. We don't want a full bar, but we want that old speakeasy kind of like back in the day. You couldn't get a Coke with your,
Right,
whatever.
right.
So it's specialty cocktails, and then beer and wine, and that's what's kind of different because we'll have those seltzers and ranch waters and stuff like
Yes,
that
yes.
nobody else has. And a lot of men don't like wine, or there's a lot of people in my groups that didn't like
Right.
wine and beer. They wanted a cocktail. So it kind of
Right.
you hit everybody.
Yeah.
One-stop shop.
I have a lot of people say it's an acquired taste.
Yes.
And it is.
Yeah.
And once you acquire it, you go, oh yeah, it is a good taste.
Yeah,
but
great.
it is. But it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone has to find their thing, and I love that you offer a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So put that on your tour list when you go
Yes.
next time. Favorite book.
Oh, I'm not a reader. I don't know.
Favorite podcast. Do you listen to
I
podcasts?
like Ed Milet.
Oh, isn't he good? I love Ed Milet.
I actually was listening to him on the way up here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Well, because since you travel a
Yeah.
lot, that's where I love to listen to podcasts.
Yes.
Is traveling. So add Ed Milet and the Krista Escamilla Show to
Yes.
your list. But I love it when I'm traveling or in the morning when I'm working out. Like
Yeah.
I love to listen. I'll alternate between music and podcasts.
Yeah.
Kind of go back and
I
forth.
like him, and then I'll do some sermons and stuff like that when I'm driving here. So
Yes.
that's like my whole thing while I'm coming.
Yes.
Something motivational and
Yeah.
pump you up,
That's what I love too. I
Yeah.
love motivational.
Yeah.
Quote of the day is a great one.
Yeah.
Because I love, as you know, I love quotes. Quote of the day by Sean Croxton is amazing.
Oh, I'll have to
and they're
check that
short,
out.
and you would love it.
Oh, I
It's
love
like
that.
it's so motivational as a business owner. So motivational.
Ooh, good.
Like you will leave every episode like up here ready to tackle the day and go, get all the customers and do all the things. And
Yeah.
it's just so much fun.
That's
So-
really how you feel though, because
You
it's like
do.
you're down and you listen to those and you're like, I can do anything.
Exactly. And that's what I think is great.
Yeah.
I've heard people say that motivation is like showering. You have
Yeah.
to do it daily. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you do. You have to stay motivated daily. It helps.
Yeah, and I think keeping yourself healthy and like those healthy habits, it's so easy to go negative,
Absolutely.
And it's really having to pull yourself out and be like, I have to look at everything positive. What's the positive of this?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you let yourself go negative and it's a downward spiral.
Yes. Even in the storms, you have to look at the
Yes.
positive. I always say, look for the good. You got to find the good in it.
Well-
There's something good happening there. You just don't know it yet, or you got to look for it.
And like with the bathroom stalls, I keep bringing that up, but it was like, if that is the worst thing that I have,
Exactly.
then I'm pretty good. And they're
Right.
decorated at least. you
Hey,
know?
that's good. That's better than our
Yeah.
bathrooms. Ours
Yeah.
aren't even decorated yet.
And we have porta potties, but it was just like, if that is the worst thing out of this
Exactly.
whole project,
Right.
I'm doing good.
You're doing good. No,
You
you
know?
are doing great,
yeah,
Chelsea.
so
Yeah,
I
you're
just
doing
had to
great.
look at it like that and just roll with it,
Okay, favorite life hack. One thing
Oh.
you've learned that you're like, gosh, everybody should do this. It would make their life so much easier or better, or and it could be anything.
I don't know. I always trying to cut the corners, so I don't know what do I do that have a life hack. I'm trying to think.
We can come back. We'll come back to the life hack question. Favorite memory in Midland?
Oh man, I don't know. I think the one of my favorite ones was when we threw probably like the American Cancer Society stuff, or even when we threw that big old concert on the green at Ranchland. And that was like my first big golf tournament and concert together, you know. And it's crazy because I'm still friends with like the band and stuff like that, and I don't know. It's and
then the band will probably now come play at Blumenthal Farms at some time.
Yeah, so it's just like it's so cool. I think those were my funnest memories here. Just throwing those. I mean, they were hard, but they were just very fruitful, I guess you could say. Right. And so I think those are, and maybe Chelsea Rays.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Chelsea Rays is pretty awesome.
So that was fun.
Well, good. If you could go back, we mentioned 20-year-old self earlier. If you could go back and tell your 20-something self something, what would that be?
So I was all about owning a business and getting rich and blah, blah, blah. And I think that I would have enjoyed it.
Enjoyed it a little bit more.
I mean, I don't regret anything I've done because it's gotten me here. Right. And it was my journey, you know, but I would have lived off my parents a little longer.
Not try to get on your own so quick.
Yeah. I would have lived a little bit, you know, just really relaxed and not thought about like, oh, what am I going to do with my life? You know?
Right.
Just really lived through that.
I had people. He's like, Al's like, shh, our daughters are listening, and you just said live off your parents longer.
But I mean, I'd traveled and stuff, but I would have really experienced life and traveled and had that fun. And you know,
they're using this as ammunition right now. They're like, yes, Chelsea said to travel more. Yeah. Parents.
Be broke. You know?
But it's so true because I remember when I was 18, I had a lot of friends that they were like so ready to move out on their own and do this on their own. And my mom said, as long as you're in school, you can stay here as long as you want. And so, you know, I thought, okay, why would I go pay rent when I can live here for free and go to school and work, you know? Well, and so I was like, I'll stay here. So I stayed a little longer than, you know, probably than I should have. But I'm glad I did because otherwise I could enjoy, you know, because of working and going to school, you get caught up in all that. Mm-hmm. But if I was paying rent on top of it, I would have felt even worse. Like, oh, all that money I just worked for is now.
And then the getting married and having kids and like thinking that is like the next step, which I have friends that have been married for years and they're doing great and whatever. But that's not everybody's story.
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't been mine. And I think that if you allow yourself to think that you're not doing something right because you haven't done those things, I think that's where I would have had a different mindset, I guess.
Well, and everybody's journey is different. Yeah. Everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to. And so I think when we're in our 20s, we get so caught up in like, and what am I supposed to be doing next? Yeah. And am I supposed to be getting married? Am I supposed to be doing this? And am I supposed to, you know, and it's like, you know what? None of that matters. Do what you're supposed to be doing, what's right for you and what God's plan is for you.
Well, and it's try everything because that's how you know what you like and you don't like.
Exactly.
You know? So
exactly.
Go have those 10 jobs, you know, because you don't know what you like until you experience everything.
Could not agree more. Thank you for saying that. And I hope our daughters were listening to that part too. I love that. Okay. We're going to go back to favorite life hack. Do you have a life hack that you've thought about and you're like, oh, this one kind of works.
No.
This one, no. Okay.
I don't know. Give me an example.
Well, some people have used as a life hack. I'm trying to think. Oh, so a friend of mine, she gave this life hack, which I thought was really, really good. And so we'll share this one again. When she goes and gets cookies from, say, one of our great bakeries that we have, so say Tony's Bakery. So she comes in with her own plate and has them put it on there instead of their box.
That's
and then
smart.
when she walks into her meeting, they all think that she made those.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, good life hack. Thank you, Christine.
And I just go to H-E-B Animal. I love Christine. So that's so her.
Isn't it? I love that. So it could be a life hack like that to, I don't know, the fastest I can curl my hair in 2 minutes
Oh
by
my God, yeah.
doing something that showing us something that you I mean, it could be anything.
No, I do everything quickly. Whatever I can find, however I can get it done quickly, I do it. Like the back roads, like I am like the biggest person on go the back roads because we got to get there.
Gotta get there fast. Gotta get there quick.
I don't know. I don't know if I have any.
Well, that's all right. That's all right. We excuse me. We will. You can let me know if you do, and we'll add it in.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you so much for sharing your journey today.
Yeah.
I think it has been amazing. I'm so excited for you. I cannot wait to see it in person.
Yeah, well, thanks.
I am so excited, and I hope that all of our friends here in Midland, Odessa, Andrews, Big Spring, West Texas, the next time you're in Fredericksburg, you can stop by Blumenthal Farms and support this. It's a semi-local business, right? Because it's a local girl that is doing big things.
Yes.
In Fredericksburg. So go support that local business. How can people find you on the socials?
So we are Blumenthal Farms on Facebook and Instagram, and then it's BlumenthalFarmsTX.com. Okay. So you can find us on there, and you can get a membership for our pickleball courts. So
how cool is that? I love that.
Yeah.
I love that you added in the pickleball because that is huge. Like that. Yeah. That we've been doing it in our family this past year. Love it. It's so much fun. It gets competitive, but it's fun.
Well, and people are like crazy about it. They're like, we're going to be there, and there's a place over there in Spicewood about an hour from us, and they have 8 courts, and it is busy, and that's all they do. Like, it's a winery and brewery and 8 courts, and people go with their families and stuff like that.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
We're getting close to the end of the podcast, and at the end of each show, we always want to shout out a nonprofit organization that is near and dear to your heart.
Okay.
Is there a nonprofit that you would like for us to shout out today?
Yes, Teen Flow.
Yay!
I'm on the board of their organization, and I just love that they have an after-school program, preaching the word and teaching kids about God and, Bible studies and whatnot, and they go to camps, and I just love it. That is like, I'm so proud of them, and we have the best staff there. So
fantastic.
It's awesome.
Well, we will give a donation on behalf of the Krista Escamilla Show to Teen Flow.
Awesome.
And I believe that's the second time. I know someone else at some point has mentioned Teen Flow. So I'm so glad because I want it to get more. I want more people to learn about it. Yeah. How can people help at Teen Flow? Like, do you see a need there for volunteers?
Yeah, for mentors. We need
mentors.
Okay. So, the girls need mentors, the boys need mentors, and so, or just speakers. I mean, if you have a good story or whatever, if you found God or, your walk with the Lord, if you could go and, tell them about your story.
Fantastic.
They'll love that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Shout out Teen Flow, help how you can. Is there anything coming into the podcast that you thought, I really hope this comes out. I really want to talk about it, but maybe we haven't brought it up yet today?
No, I think that it's kind of all been said. I mean, just that we want to, Blumenthal, we want to recreate that town and be just like a little home, and we have the general store, and it'll have little knickknacks and goodies in there that you can hang out with, and we have 2 food trucks, so it'll be fun. Yeah,
that's great.
And then
so they come out during the day, so they're there set up all
they're
day?
there all the time. So
I love that.
And then we have a little putting green, and so we'll have little things here and there and pop-up shops, and it'll just be like our own little town.
I love it. I'm so happy for you, and I'm so excited. I wish you continued success in
Thanks.
all you do, because I know if you're doing it, it's going to be good, and it's going to be done well. And so I cannot wait to see what this becomes for you, because I know all your dreams and aspirations for it will happen because you've put your heart into it, and it's part of your plan and God's plan. So thank you so much for being here today.
Yes, it was fun.
Please, please, please follow Blumenthal Farms. Go see it next time you're in Fredericksburg. Support this locally owned business as much as you can, because we love supporting each other, and we're all in this together, and she's a woman rock star. So here we go. We want to thank all of you for being here today. Of course, thanks to our sponsors, Tapestry Hotel Midland, Rig ID Workwear, Midland Cap Company, and JoinCapClub.com. Of course, support those local businesses however you see fit as well. And remember, if there's something in your heart, if there's something you've been thinking about doing, if there's something you want to try, go for it. And don't forget these mottos: dream big, believe, and never give up. Thank you so much for joining us. You make it a great day.